Okay, in this video, I'm going to mentor you today straight away on how to overcome social anxiety and also how to overcome social situations that get awkward, that fail, the mindsets, what you should do next, what you shouldn't do. And these are all things that I coach my clients through and on my 6 week program, or if I'm working with clients in person or online or in a 2 hour session, and also at a Fearless event. So let's start off with the mindset. Most of my clients to begin with have got the wrong mindset when it comes to overcoming their social anxiety, And that mindset is worrying about situations getting awkward and not wanting that to happen. But when you worry so much about things happening, the worry just gets bigger, the fear gets bigger, and you focus on the worst case scenario. But when you change the mindset, when you say, okay, I expect to get awkward at some point in social situations, I expect it to be difficult holding eye contact, I expect to feel nerves, anxiety, adrenaline, discomfort. Just that change in thought process makes it a lot more easier to get through social situations, because if you go into a situation preparing and expecting the worst case scenario to happen, if it does happen, it's not so much a shock to the system. Then you can deal with it. Now, obviously, the more you practice this, the more your mindset will naturally go from negative to positive, and you'll go from really anxious and awkward around people, or maybe even feeling like that. Maybe that's not even how you look, but you feel like that, to really confident, excited, and relaxed. So it's getting the mindset right, which is what I always coach clients on to do, and then it's taking the action and it's being consistent. I've said it before, if you're not consistent with your socializing, you're not going to see a dramatic improvement in your social confidence. You're not going to see your social skills improving. You're not going to notice yourself feeling more relaxed, because ultimately that's the main goal for all my clients. They want to get more relaxed around people, less nervous. And when you're more relaxed and you're less nervous, it's natural to be confident. But in order to get to that place, like I said, you've got to get the mind right, and you've got to change the mindset from cowering away, being afraid that this might happen, and going, okay, I don't want it to happen, but I accept it, and I'm going to go in preparing for it. And sometimes when you prepare for it, it doesn't even happen. So it's not like you're guaranteed to get awkward in every social situation, but it's inevitable at some point you are going to get awkward. And obviously we have to put things into context. You know, getting awkward is normal and natural. Everybody gets awkward at some point. I get awkward, you do. Sometimes you're in a situation, someone says something you don't expect it, or you're not prepared, or you're tired, or you like someone. So you can't exaggerate something that is natural and human. But obviously, if you're so awkward to the point where you can't have a conversation with people, then obviously you need to fix that. So we've got to put things into the context of what's normal. Everybody gets nerves. Everybody feels a little bit uncomfortable when they meet new people, unless they're taking action every week and they're going to events and they're constantly pushing themselves. Then they're going to be a lot more confident because of the momentum, because of that social practice they're getting, and because they're consistent and they're not having breaks in between socializing. So that's that bit. Now, this is the bit actually that I probably enjoy the most when I'm coaching a client, and it's, what do you do when you have a bad conversation, bad interaction, or a bad day? For example, you speak to a girl that you like, she responds really positively to you, and then you can't maintain eye contact. It gets awkward. So you look down, you look away, or you like that, you freeze up. And then when you leave the conversation, you feel embarrassed, you feel ashamed, you feel bad. Then what? This is what you've got to do, and a lot of people don't do this, and this helps my clients massively to grow and get confident and overcome this in the long run. You have to not read into it. It's not the end. It doesn't mean anything. You're worried about her opinion of you. Does she think you're weird? Does she think you're creepy? Or does the other person or a group of people? But at the end of the day, she would have got awkward before. Everybody has at some point. So you just got to move on. You've got to move on, forget about it, take the positives from it. The positives are you took action. Because in order to get awkward in a social situation, for the most part, you'd have to have left the house and took action. So you're successful at something. Now, the next thing you want to do is say to yourself, next time I'm in that situation, I'm going to just try and act a little bit more confident and relaxed. I'm going to try and maintain eye contact. I'm going to try and express my words more clearly. I'm going to try and be myself more honest, and not let the anxiety swallow my words up and paralyze me. And that mindset is fantastic. And it's the simple things, if you noticed in this video. That's why I say my coaching's simple. Simple but effective, honest, practical. And if you practice it, you're going to get great results. So you go away, and every time your mind comes in and tries to keep analysing that situation and getting you to think about it, you just ignore it. Just say, look, I'm done with it. I'm not going to read into it. I was working with a client recently, and I said, look, you've had so many conversations that have gone well. We're not going to analyse everything. Analysing just wastes time, wastes energy. It's done. You don't know what a person's thinking. We can sit here for hours and try and second guess. Sometimes you do. You can read people's facial expressions and you can read their body language, but we can't always know what someone's thinking, and it's irrelevant. If they're thinking good or bad things about you, nothing you can do about that. What you can do is focus on what you think about yourself. Move on. So for every negative interaction, move on. Don't analyse it. Don't judge yourself. Take the positives, which you took action, and just try and be a little bit better next time, and you will be. If I was to put you into a situation where you were nervous, let's say some public speaking in front of a group, even a small group of people of 6, if I got you to do that, you'd be nervous, it would be awkward. But if I got you to do that 10 times in a period of 6 weeks, you'd be fantastic at it. You'd be way more confident. Why? Because of the practice, because of the momentum, because of you becoming familiar with that situation. And I don't just mean familiar psychologically, that as well, but I mean emotionally. Because the biggest challenge for my clients with social anxiety is the emotional challenge. Yeah, psychologically you worry, you think of scenarios that could go wrong, but it's how it feels. So a lot of the time, the process to begin with is learning how to be in situations where inside and emotionally it's really unpleasant. Not for the whole time, but it's like periods, like a storm goes off inside, it's tidal waves, whatever you want to call it, and it feels uncomfortable, and you naturally feel like you want to escape that feeling. It's having a discipline to stay in it, not judging it, not trying to change it, just being aware of that and just allowing it, just letting it pass. So you get uncomfortable, you get more comfortable being uncomfortable, and then you get comfortable again. That's generally the process with anyone who overcomes social anxiety. At the start, they're super awkward, or they feel awkward. Usually people they're never as awkward as they think they are. So you're always going to see yourself, until you change, more awkward than I would see you or somebody else would see you, because of being so judgmental and worrying and being embarrassed and ashamed and being afraid of being judged and how you act. But you never look as bad. I say it many times when I coach clients and they have a conversation, and I say, how do you think that went? And they're like, I was awkward, I wasn't that good. I say, I think that was great. I watched it, I saw you, and you didn't look awkward. It's just because you feel like that in your head, because probably you've been feeling like that all your life. And it's it's really hardwired into your psychology and how you feel about yourself. So it's going to take some time and practice to eradicate the way you feel, and you do that by getting new positive reference points, new social situations and new experiences. So you can't let the bad days beat you, because we all have bad days, everybody has, but success and a confident attitude and mindset is being able to recover, recuperate, and continue move forward. The moving forward mindset it's a great mindset, not just with social anxiety, but with life. And then you stop judging yourself. You stop creating self-suffering by analysing and thinking and going over the scenario again and again, when it was just a minute conversation or a couple of minutes and it's done. It's in the past. Move on. You're going to meet somebody else. You're going to have many more conversations. So this takes practice, and that's why, for the most part, it's not always like this. But I work with a client who's got severe social anxiety for 6 weeks, because during that 6 weeks I can really I can help them to see their strengths, and I can also build their confidence up a hell of a lot in that time, and get them to a point where they've gained so much confidence, they see so much progress, and they have new experiences, and they gain better social skills. Then they're inspired to keep going, and the confidence and the experience they'll get from my 6 weeks program, it will inspire them to then do another 6 months, and they'll be on a different level, and then they'll continue and continue working on their goals. So the confidence is everything with this. But like I said, in order to get that confidence, in order to get that result, in order to feel the way you want to feel, in order to eradicate that awkwardness and be confident with people and authentic, you've got to go through the process that I've just described in this video. And the process is not easy emotionally, mentally, it's not easy, but everyone can do it if they really want to do it. And I would say, in many respects, it's harder not doing it. It's harder staying as you are, because you know the consequences of not going out and socializing and being avoidant and putting off meetings and dates and events, or putting off getting a 6 weeks program, or speaking to friends or family. It gets worse. Social anxiety doesn't get better by not socializing, it gets worse. So the only way to overcome it is through exposure therapy. For a more simple term, which I prefer, is taking action, going out, socializing, and not having long rest periods in between socializing. So an example of that is, not going for a coffee with a friend on Saturday and then leaving it to another 4 months till you see them, or that's too long. So you got to keep this up, especially at the beginning stages, which is why my 6 weeks program is so beneficial for guys that are starting out and want to get more social with dating, with people, with life, friends, career, events, making new friends, speaking. It's important that they have that intense period where they have a lot of practice in a short amount of time, which is 6 weeks, which goes really quick. When you say 6 weeks, it can sound long, but it flies by. And my program, we do one session every week. So it's 6 sessions. Each session is 2 hours. In total, it's a 12-hour program. So can you imagine, let me just ask you this question. See where you are now. Can you imagine if I was to coach you for 12 hours and get you to speak to people for 12 hours, how much more confident you'd be? Just have a think about that. Just think intelligently. This is facts. You'd be way more confident than you are now, way more happier, if you invested in my 6-week program and you had me pushing you and giving you homework and giving you feedback and getting you to take action and go to events and speak to people. You would be out of the rut that you're in now. You wouldn't be in this position. And then imagine how you would be in another 6 weeks' time. Imagine how you'd be in 3 months. In a year, I've seen clients in a year, and I remember I was the first client I ever worked with. The changes that I made in the year, my clients made, is just, people don't recognize you. Your whole conduct, your whole confidence, your body language, your eye contact, your positivity, your fearlessness, it's on a whole different level. So the investment with my coaching, it's not just an investment for 6 weeks, it's an investment for life. It will change your life. I have clients that I've mentored years ago that will write to me, or I'll bump into them and they'll say they're still gaining, they're still growing, they're still learning, because those seeds were planted through that 6 weeks program. But it doesn't end when the 6 weeks end. The teaching continues, because you learn so much in 6 weeks. You learn a lot about yourself, you learn about people, you gain social skills, and most importantly, you learn how to overcome fear, which is probably one of the most valuable human assets on planet Earth. Sometimes people forget that. People want to almost aside fear, like it doesn't exist, and then expect to go on and live an amazing life, and you can't. Fear is a part of life, whether you like it or not. But if you use it as a tool, you're fearless. Your life will become more limitless. So anyone can do this, and they can do it. They can do it on their own. You can do this on your own. You can do this without my mentorship. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be 100 times harder without my help, or without the help and support of anyone. If you're going to go on your own, it's going to take you a couple more years. Where if you did my 6-week program, it's going to shorten down that time frame. You know, we're talking probably with my 6-week program, it's going to get you from A to B, from where you are now to where you want to be. Probably going to take 6 weeks of me and a couple of months of practice after the program. But if you do it on your own, it's probably going to take 2 years, maybe even longer. Some people never do it because it is hard. It is hard emotionally, and it's so helpful when you've got the support, especially as someone who has had social anxiety as well. So I know exactly how you feel, and I know exactly what to do, when to do it with my experience. Mentoring for years, coached so many people. So you've got someone that is not judging you, that has been through it and had the same fears you've had and worked through it successfully. And if you're motivated, I'm super motivated. I love working with people that are committed and passionate about it. So this is how you do it. This is the mindset. And I'd say the biggest fear, it's the most common thing that my clients have. Their biggest fear is getting awkward. So when you think about it, it's only really one practice that you have to practice and overcome. And that's, you have to overcome your fear of getting awkward in front of people. So where you get to a point where you get so relaxed and confident that you're not going to get awkward as often. Or it might be a case, some clients, everybody's different to a certain degree. Some people, with the training that I give and with the continuation of practicing what we learn on the program in their life when they're on their own or with their friends, they don't really get awkward anymore. But for those of you that might have, I guess, a stronger level of some trauma and things from the past, and from time to time that triggering point is going to get triggered and you're going to get a bit awkward, but you can handle it because of the confidence, because of the training, the coaching, because of what you've learned, because of your experiences in the real world, not through reading books. It won't bother you no more. And that's an even bigger strength. An even bigger strength is, it's not just about getting to a point where you never get awkward, but when you get awkward, not attacking yourself and your self-esteem, not feeling ashamed or not caring what the other person thinks. Who cares what they think if you got awkward? What does that mean? It doesn't make you a bad person. If you know yourself and you value yourself and you're working on yourself, what a mishap. You know, if you watch my videos, every so often I get awkward when I speak in my videos. Like I get stuck with my words. And that's because of the background that I come from. That's a pattern. But it doesn't bother me. I don't edit it out the video. I just continue talking. So I'm demonstrating also how to deal with it. And the success I've had is it's pretty great. So it's having that self-esteem and not caring so much about what other people think as to whether you get awkward. And if you're authentic, if you're confident, you've got positive energy and you've been taking action, no one will even read into it. They won't even care. Especially women, they'll just be more attracted to you because the awkwardness won't overshadow the confidence. When you've got more confidence than you've got anxiety, when you've got such positive energy, people don't read into that. But obviously, if you're very negative and you're extremely lacking in confidence at this moment in time and you're really awkward, then people will read into that more. They will judge on that. They will notice that. They will be aware of that. So it's all about you being willing to do the work. And the work is going out, exposing yourself and practicing. So try that. Anyway, I've given you loads of tips from today. And if you can just take one thing, because I know I do cover a lot, I simplifies the whole video. Go into social situations expecting awkwardness to arise or for it to come up, or with eye contact or with stuttering or stumbling, and then when it happens you can handle it better. It wouldn't bother you as much, and then a lot of the time, because you're training for it, you're preparing for it, sometimes it will never happen. It won't happen, and then that will give you that will make you feel great. But you'll feel equally great when you go, oh, it did come up, but I saw it, I was ready, I didn't panic with it, I just accepted it and I just continued speaking and I moved on. Try that from now on, instead of the original mindset, which is incorrect, where you worry, oh, what if that happens? Oh, I don't want that to happen. I'm not going to go into that situation because that's going to happen. Or worst case, ain't going to get you nowhere. That's going to keep you in a rut, procrastinating, because you'll always be sitting there. The mindset's wrong. It's negative. It's too negative. It's thinking about what if things go wrong, rather than going, things will go right for me. They're going to go right because I'm going to practice, and I'm ready for when they go wrong to pick myself back up and have the mindset of failure equals success. Awkward social situations equal the opposite eventually with practice. Not being awkward, being relaxed, being calm, being assertive, being kind, confident. All those wonderful things will end on a high. Like, share, subscribe. And if you want to get my mentorship and apply, my email address is below. Email me. I'll get back to you in 48 hours. We can arrange a Zoom call for 20, 30 minutes. I can get to know you more and understand what your goals are. And then I can explain my program. Price, logistics, availability, time, how it works, how I tailor it towards your goals, what you need, and any other questions we can cover on the call, right? Remember, become fearless.